No, I assumed it would be a 2 to 3 day stay, and when I was given the opportunity I sort of jumped at it because it's much better from my point of view being at home rather than sort of laying in a hospital bed. And a couple of days afterwards it was quite painful, but we had painkillers for it. And then within a week I was walking without sticks and very little pain as such, other than where you get inflammation. And we've got through a lot of peas, frozen ones, in that time. But since then it's been a couple of months now and I don't even think about it.
Absolutely. If Phil came 70 years ago, not only was that the very birth of knee replacement, there was fraught with complications. You were in hospital for several weeks if you had a knee replacement at that time. Now in 2018, we're one of the pioneering trusts that do half knee replacement as a day case. So patients are up and around the same day. 2 hours after their operation, they can stand on it, walk on it, and go home to be in their own environment on the same day.
A dental assistant who was trained in CPR gave me CPR, and then I was taken to hospital where Dr. Newter did a procedure and put a defibrillator.
The defibrillator, in essence, is a glorified type of pacemaker which has wires in the heart. The purpose of the wires is to identify any heart rhythm abnormalities, so they look at the heart rhythm with every single heartbeat, and every time there is a life-threatening rhythm disturbance, the device will charge up in less than 3 or 4 seconds and be able to deliver a life-saving shock treatment in approximately 10 seconds. By which point some patients won't even have passed out because the treatment is so swift.
I came round a few days later, everything was done and my memory was completely gone. But I'm a very, very lucky person to be alive.
Had Sheila had a cardiac arrest in 1950, there would have been no reliable way to bring her back, and certainly no reliable way to prevent further events from terminating life, in essence. And doing these procedures on a regular basis, it is enormously rewarding and frankly a little emotional when you realize the patient that you operated on 3 weeks ago, who were completely unconscious and you had no idea whether they were going to make a neurological recovery or not, are now sat in front of you and thanking you for what you've done. It's a very emotional moment.
In the last 70 years, neonatal care has evolved from what was a largely experimental field with very low survival rates for the extremely preterm babies to a mainstay, really, and we're able to provide care to babies now that we would perhaps not have dreamed of 70 years ago. Joseph was an extremely preterm baby, so that's being born between 23 to 26 weeks gestation. And Joseph had a lot of the problems associated with premature birth. Joseph triumphed really and got through and graduated from the neonatal unit. And I followed Joseph up yearly and have been really excited to see him on his first day of school doing brilliantly with no neurodevelopmental concerns. And I think he's a great example of the results that can occur with neonatal care these days.
Well, genomics is looking at the basis of genomes. So we're all made up of 30 billion different parts of our DNA, and so each of us is completely individual. And the whole idea of the 100,000 Genome Project is to look at 100,000 different samples from blood, tissue and rare diseases, and then they can work out where people's diseases are coming from. So we will all get our genome looked at, and it's going to be mainstreamed. And this is the exciting part, especially for me, is that in the future all patients will have part of their genome looked at if they have a diagnosis of cancer.
I think we're so lucky now to have this opportunity to actually go onto the Genome Project, and all I can say to anybody out there who's very unfortunate to have what we've got, this is a positive, and although we can't take control of our diagnosis, we can take control of what we can do in the future about it, and this is a positive step forward. It will give you a bit more longevity, it will make a difference to tumour, and who knows, it could be absolutely wonderful for whoever out there who has what I have.